We go from crying to laughing, but that's
right? Roller coaster ride.
You go from joy to bliss to anger to, it's all good. We just have to have our emotions and acknowledge our emotions. Okay, Maya, I'm going to put you on the spot. You want to introduce Marshall Golden Eagle Jack? You know a little bit about her? You think? Okay, come on up, girl. And if you don't know Maya Gale, she is a beautiful teacher in her own right, and she has the turbosonic machine here.
Yes, we're going to be talking about vibrational medicine.
That's right.
There's many different kinds of vibrational medicine. But yes, okay. Marshall Golden Eagle Jack has really, since childhood, since he was very, very young, been on a path, a medicine path, a path of healing and a path of keeping the wisdom traditions of his people, which are the Paiute and the Awanichi. Awanichi are the tribe that was in Yosemite Valley, and the Paiute are all around Nevada, California, Utah. So he really holds the traditions that were passed down from the ancient people. Some of those traditions kind of skipped a generation and were lost, but he's one of the few that really carries those original teachings and is a master ceremonialist and healer and keeper of the traditions. So come on up, Marshall.
That's welcome, Marshall. I thought that would be appropriate, yes? How are you, my darling? Oh, good to see you. This is one of my favorite men on the planet, okay? Besides Art. But, yeah, so that's good. So I'm going to have you, you can hold this. It'll probably be better because you're a tall guy. How tall are you?
Hey, are you in there?
Oh, you're right there. There we go.
Oh, there you are.
There we go. There we go. Well, I wanted to do a Q&A with Marshall. How many of you been to any of his healing work? Okay, look at that. Yeah. And it's powerful. And as you say, powerful. Because it is. And he is really authentic. And he does hold the energy for these rituals. So today, I wanted you to just share a little bit about, and this is perfect, it's Memorial Day. And you're doing, energy healing, but how does it affect us and our ancestors and our lineage?
We see a new era approaching us very, very fast. And I'm not sure where we're going out here in the future, but I know it's going to be something that's way, way different than we understand. And so we look at the past and we acknowledge what brought us here. And what I mean by this is that through vibrational medicine, which our ancestors call this, is that we are at a place every single day where we were meant to be. It's what we call destiny. And so in that destiny realm is that it took you all these years, all the different means of teachings, right, wrong, bad, or indifferent, for you to be here this day. Think about that. Of all the journeys that you've taken upon this planet, you ended up here today with us. But why? How did that happen? What does that really mean? And this is what we go into is vibrational medicine. Is what brought us here? Who are we? Why were we vibrated here? What caused that in our minds? What told you this morning, I need to go to the center of the heart? Where does that come from? I've done many ceremonies, and when we create an energy field, just like the center of the heart, a lot of people gravitate to the energy, the vibration. A lot of them don't even know why, or they didn't even know a ceremony was going on. But something pulls them in, and we call that the heart. Something is feeding the vibration of the heart. Something is needed for you to be in that arena. We don't know why, but it's something soothing. It's something that our being needs. It's like a healing. It's like a thriving, and we don't even understand what that is. It's like journeying out on the road. I applaud you. I was in an RV for a little over 3 years, just going on faith. But what was amazing about it is in the RV, I had a 40-foot RV, and it was amazing. It was like driving a cloud down the freeways, you know. But what was amazing about it is that the window, I called it the window of the future. This window changed scenery almost every day. It was amazing. It was like a picture book that I was looking out in the RV, sitting there having my cup of coffee in the morning and just looking at the different images that appeared in that window. It was amazing. It was amazing to understand the changes of this earth. Maybe not the changes of this earth, but the changes within me to see the earth. That is very powerful.
Well, speaking about, the power in nature, what can we do, during this time where the oil has spilled, it's in the ocean now, is there something we can do to honor the Mother Earth and the water, the bodies of water?
We go back to a time period, May 18th, 2010. I'm sure you remember the big oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
I was summoned there to bring my crystal altar to Texas to acknowledge this oil spill. And we seen that if we didn't circumvent the energies, is that it would penetrate all the way through the Gulf Coast. The currents would take the oil and keep on moving it. Well, through the Divine Spirit, I was called by the people there asking me if there's something that we can do. I said, I don't know. Let's join hearts together and let's see what becomes of that energy. And so we created a ceremony on Galveston Island. It was one of my largest ceremonies that just came to be. It just created itself. It was the heart of the people that created that ceremony. They're yearning for their lands. They're yearning for the plants, the animals, and especially the birds, because the birds they're just flopping around because they're so full of oil and they didn't know what to do about it. They didn't have the expertise to clean them up, but they knew through the power of their heart they could help through prayer. And so we created this huge, huge energy field there in Galveston Island. And it was pretty miraculous because on the second day after the ceremony, they were able to shut the valve off. Prior to that, they didn't know how they were going to shut the valve off. But we lent our energy to divine source and saying, we need a miracle. And so when we brought our heart vibration together, it was vibrational medicine that rippled out through the lands, through the people, through the plants, and through the animals, and it brought in a higher consciousness, which allowed it to be handed to the cleanup crew, and they were able to shut off the valve. And we prevented the oil from going further out into the Gulf Coast. We harnessed it, if you will, so that the cleanup would be much faster. And so just this morning, I was thinking about it, and Art Cisneros, the Shumash leader here, I'm going to be connecting with him later on this afternoon. We feel that there needs to be something done here on the shoreline. And so I'm going to discuss with him a gathering of people at Goleta Beach. We have a ceremonial field there right now with crystals in the ground. And so I'm going to suggest that as soon as possible, we can get a group of us together at Goleta Beach and lend our energy to the cleanup and to all of the plants and the animals that are suffering because of this.
Well, then today, talking about, what you're going to share with us today, what will that assist people to learn today or to do for themselves?
A lot of it is letting go of vibrations within your heart space that no longer benefits you. Again, that no longer benefits you. They're memories. Some of them are sad memories, some of them are angry memories, some of them are just unworthy memories, all those memories that are locked into our vibrational fields. And so this afternoon, what we're going to do is we're going to lead those of you who want to attend through a vibrational frequency healing, working with crystals. This right here is what we call a scepter. Very, very powerful energy field. This is natural from the earth. The copper, the crystal, the design is a little different, but it's all earth designs also, a sacred geometry. And so when we can get past our ego and we allow our heart to open up to vibration, then things start to release exponentially. As we no longer hold judgment on what our memories are. They could be good ones, they could be bad ones, they could be just crazy energy memories. I'm going to pinpoint our grandfather over here in a wheelchair. Something happened to his memory fields that contracted in his body and says, whoa, what happened? But why did it happen? And when we can go back through his memory fields, going back to before he was put in a wheelchair, and maybe even beyond, maybe even going back to his childhood, we can see a vibrational pattern that put him in his wheelchair. People with cancer, we can see a vibrational pattern of why people contract cancer. Pretty amazing through what we call vibrational healing modalities. It's like my counterpart Maya with Turbosonic. It's a vibrational sound healing modality. And so it goes beyond what we can do for ourselves. Are you all following me? I see a lot of eyes are going out like, whoa, what is all this?
Well, so a lot of people aren't even aware of that, but now that we are, what can we do every day to, we're going to do something today with you, but what else can people do? Is there some prayers? Is there something they can do in order to shift this?
Can we back up a slide to that song?
Yeah, there you go.
I love me.
I love me. Go to the first verse, right there.
Right here. Right here. To really, really love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But first, how do you do that? Can I love myself because of all the crazy things that I've done? The shame, the guilt, the frustrations, the anger. Can I really love myself? That's where we want you to be, is in a place where you literally love yourself more than you love anything else in this world. I hear a lot of times, like parents or even couples, and they'll nod, I love you more than anything in this world. That's a good gesture. Love yourself first before you love anything else in this world. This is what my elders had taught me when I was very, very young. My grandmother always expressed it this way. You can't make anybody else happy until you make yourself happy first. Think about those words. You can't make anybody else happy until you make yourself happy first. How do you know how to make them happy? Without first knowing how to make yourself happy. Think about it. She told me this when I was about 17 years old. The words came into my thought forms, but I didn't acknowledge the deeper meaning of what it really meant until I was about 30 years old, about 35 years old. And those words came like a huge neon light, because it was the first time in my life I ever felt like I was taken advantage of. I was giving, I'm a giver, and I'll help people out. But I was with this family that, I was giving a little more than I was expected to give. But they started to take advantage of that, and there was no reciprocity given back to me for that. They were just kind of like using me. And it was the first time in my life I ever felt that kind of energy, and it didn't feel good, it felt toxic. And then I finally realized, my grandmother's words came back: you can't make anybody else happy until you make yourself happy first. And I thought my happiness was helping people get happy. And it was making them happy, but where was I in that? And so it took me about 3 years to really understand what made Marshall Jack happy. I didn't know. I knew how to help everybody else out and make them happy, but I didn't know how to make myself happy. It was phenomenal. I thought, what? Am I just dumb, or what? Why can't I make myself happy? Because I never concentrated on myself enough. I concentrated on everybody else. And then I started to lose my energy. Then I started to get weak. And I started to have problems physically. Because I was using my energy for everything else but myself. And a grandmother caught that, and she says, "Whoa, what have you been doing?" I said, "What do you mean?" And she could not actually see my weakness. My energy fields were really, really weak. And she says, "Your DNA structure is spread out all over there. You don't have anything inside of yourself anymore." She says, "You are going to get sick. You've exhausted too much of your energy. You need to pull this energy back to yourself." And so we're going to discuss that this afternoon. How do you pull your energy back to yourself? And how do you let go of people who are maybe codependent upon you? That hit a chord.
Yeah, everybody's kind of, look at the faces, I like it.
So these are some of the things that we're going to discuss this afternoon, of how energy works between matter. Okay? And we get to a point where your matter doesn't matter. My matter.
Yeah. Amen.
So it gets you thinking about energy, vibrational frequencies, vibrational energy. What do we attract? What do we give away? What do we absorb? Right, wrong, bad, or indifferent. That's just what we do. But again, as long as you're absorbing energy to love yourself, that love energy for yourself, then you become more powerful. And then it's your decision when you want to give some of that away. My elders, they teach me in ceremonies, do the ceremony for yourself before you do it for anybody else.
Does anyone have a question, a quick question while we've got Marshall up here? Yeah, Melba?
I want to ask you, you're talking about loving yourself. What I've learned, there's spirit in me, there's my ego, which I think I am. So speak to the difference between spirit, ego, when you say loving yourself.
Wayne Dyer, we watched a phenomenal movie called The Shift.
Right.
He talks about ego. We are generally fed information that boosts our ego. right, wrong, bad, or indifferent from childhood. And so right off the bat is that it's not as though we give our authority away, we just displace our authority with suggestive powers, suggestive vibrations. And so when those suggestions come into our brain, if you will, say for example, your mother says, oh yeah, don't open up the door, the flies are going to come in. All of a sudden, that's truth. You accept that as truth. It may not be your truth, but it's your mother's truth. Okay, now when we transfer that as our truth through somebody else, then we create this ego. E-G-O. I'm sure probably a few of you have heard this. E-G-O. Edging God out. You are displacing your authority with somebody else's, which is edging God out. Does that kind of help you with the question?
Yes. It just seems like we're always developing our ego. So I'm still, when it says, love me, are we loving our true self, spirit? Or are we loving who we think we are, that we've developed?
No, you're loving actually who you are, but because of all of these different energies, sometimes we don't even know who we are because we're not taught that. We're taught to struggle in this lifetime because of the suggestive powers of everybody else, but we're not taught to find the joy in our life. Everybody feeds us information. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to go to school. You got to make a living. You got to do all this stuff. It's like, why? Why do I need to do all that stuff? It doesn't make any sense. Well, you have to. No, I go against the grain of salt. I said, no, I don't have to. I don't have to do what you are suggesting because it doesn't match my energy field. I don't feel happy doing what you're suggesting. And so I've developed an energy field around me, my own authority on this planet. Our elders, they say, when you get up into the later years in your life, you've earned your feathers, you paid your dues. And you get to a point where you no longer have to seek anybody's approval or permission. And that's where I'm at in this lifetime. I don't have to go to you to ask permission to do anything, or my elders anymore. I've earned the right with this earth, with the energies of the plant nation, the water nations, the animal nations, the fire nations, the air nations. I've earned their respect. So I have an authority field on this planet. And if I feel that my authority can help in a way, vibrational way, for healing, I will use that authority the best way I know how. And so for me, it's acknowledging this earth, this planet. We have this as one planet to live upon. Each one of us. But if we lose our authority and we follow what I call mainstream society or mainstream consciousness, then we're just like sheep being led over a cliff. This is what the Hopis talk about. And we'll get more into that this afternoon.
Well, and it's perfect because Bev, if you weren't here when she spoke last week, she had a lot of, I'm going to say, negativities and blocks because she wanted to live this life. And she's at an age where she's wise and she can do whatever the heck she wants. But between her kids and everything else, there was so much outer that was discounting what her dream was and what she knew in her heart was going to make her spirit soar. So there's a perfect example right there. So if you want to learn a little bit more, you ask Bev what she went through, because it was intense. But you know, it was amazing. It just because her spirit was so strong vibrationally that everything came in beautifully and in harmony because she was clear.
Exactly. And that's prevalent with all of us. As long as we understand that we are, sure, we can help other people, but first we need to help ourselves to get to that stronger point of development and say, okay, this is who I am. That's how we find out who we are, is by catering to ourselves before we cater to somebody else. And so this is what we're going to go through this afternoon, is finding you. Where are you in the depths of your story? All right, everybody has a story. And so the story is created by what?
Us.
Ego.
Ego. Edging God out.
Our ego is our story. So what? Is anybody going to pay you for it? Oh, yeah. I mean, every one of you has a story, right?
Yeah.
But what does it mean?
I have a question, Ego Jack, if I may stand and speak. I've done some history reading of your people. Is it true that they have one of those tents and they bring you in and they have the fire inside and yeah, the sweating tent, and they give you your own animal guide? Is that true these days?
Oh, sure.
Absolutely. And you know what? You can talk to Golden Eagle after and ask him about that, because it's a beautiful, it's a powerful ritual. But it's not that, I don't think you go in one time and ask for your name. I think it's a commitment, or am I wrong?
While working with elders, say it myself, what we do is we look at you, of all the facets of who you are, what you went through childhood, even before you were born. Why were you born on this earth? What is the reason for your existence here? And so when we can see that, then we see a gift. That each one of you has a gift. We go back beyond your birth. We go and we look at the stars, the alignment of the stars. You were needed at the time you were birthed to be on this planet. You have a special gift that's needed on this planet at this particular time. And so when we can see that gift, it becomes very, very powerful. But it's a natural energy that you all possess, each one of you. But because of the ego and the thriving of world consciousness, as we fit into a whole world that is different than what we're supposed to be doing. It's a suggestive world. It's an illusionary world that we try to assimilate into so we can be recognized because we have an ego. This is who I am. And I went to Harvard, and I went over here, and I went over there, and I went to see Oz, and yeah, you know, I went down to the Yellow Brick Road. Who the hell cares? Who cares? The only one who cares is you. Nobody's going to feel it the way you experienced it.
Okay, well, I think we're going to thank you so much. I just learned so much. I've never heard you, and I've been to 10 of your rituals, and I never heard this. So let's give our beloved Golden Eagle Jack. Oh,
It's really, really simple vibration. It's a song. It's a healing song. Very, very powerful vibrational song. But I'm just going to sing like one verse of it, okay? We acknowledge the planet as a living life form. We acknowledge the plant nations, the animal nations, and everything else, and we're glad you're here. Did I go wrong?
I think
Maybe the battery went dead.
Oh,
Oh, there it is.
You got it.
Okay.
For a moment.
We acknowledge the energy of this planet. And so when we tap into it, we ask permission to alter energy fields. To alter them to benefit all living life forms on this planet, not just myself. And so this is a sample of how we understand earth energy, like the sweat lodge ceremony that you're talking about. It's all vibrational medicine. We acknowledge the vibrations. And so it goes something like this. So in my language, I'm asking a frequency to come into this room, a vibrational field. And so even the language is a vibrational language. Pishe Yuna. It's a vibration that acknowledges these sacred beings. Pishe Yuna. Broken down is like I'm asking permission to connect with all the councils of creation. Pishe Yuna. Everything that was created, I ask permission to connect with it. Ina Anuma. I'm asking a blessing for everybody that's in this sacred space. Sudu He. I'm calling the highest power of all of creation to be here with us right now. Pishe Yunat, Anatnuma Sudu He. Grandmothers and grandfathers of all of the galaxies, all of the universes, all of the cosmic realm, the ancient ones of this planet, all the ones that came before us, all the ones who are living with us now, and all the ones that will replace us. We call upon all the energy fields of all that is. That's how we talk to the energies. That's how we move frequency fields. That's how we clean up oil spills. Using our authority that's deep inside and not be ashamed or be cloaked by our ego. Not worrying of what you think about me. If that prevents me from being who I am, I need to go on another planet. But on this one, I am using my authority for the benefit, the most benevolent outcome of all living life forms on this planet. That's why I'm here. I'm here to protect this planet and everything that's in it, even you. These are the ways that we're taught. That's why we're on this planet. We are nurturing this planet to life.